30th of June, and we welcome to the program good friend of ours. Yes, indeed, it's Ron the Car Guy from West Side Auto Pros.
Ron the Car Guy. Yes.
This is the last time in June of 2015 I'm coming on this show.
I know it.
Is that a promise?
That is a promise.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Something I do want to clarify. In case people didn't know, we had some flooding in our community, and
we did.
Your area was one of those areas that got hit. How are things up in the Clive area?
It looks normal. I mean, you can't tell anything happened. It did affect us for a day. Swanson Boulevard floods, and so it blocked traffic.
Turned you into a little mini island.
We were an island. Yeah, we were an island. But our building's always been safe and dry. We've never had water, so it's not an issue for us. It's just an inconvenience.
Right.
Well, that's
but everything.
A lot of people had, a lot more inconvenience than I did.
Right.
Cars were stuck in the water and underwater.
Yeah, we showed some pictures last week.
Yeah.
If the engine gets covered with water, is that pretty much it?
If the engine gets covered with water, it's not as big of an issue. But if you're driving through water and the engine sucks water into it, it ingests water, then you're going to start having bigger problems. The other thing that we see is if water gets to the inside of the car, because that's where a lot of the computers and the modules and stuff are.
Yeah.
If you get water inside the car, it's pretty much a total loss. I mean, you might be able to replace some computers, clean up some connectors, but the corrosion continues on.
Oh, true.
And so I would not want to be the owner of a vehicle that had been through a flood.
Flood car.
Yeah. Usually the insurance companies will just total them out. And you go get a different car. But the concern becomes what happens after that if somebody buys it or tries to fix it and resell it. I mean, that's really something to keep in mind.
So a minor inconvenience, but everything's back up to running normal.
We're good and strong
in that area. Well, I got to tell you what, Ron, I was traveling down to Kansas City this past weekend, and I could not believe how many people I saw off the side of the road that were dealing with flat tires. I don't know if down in Missouri way they sell thinner tires or what, but everybody. We started counting. There were so many people pulled over.
I think they put nails on the road in the wintertime for traction.
Asphalt, isn't it?
That could be.
It's amazing. Some of the things that my guys see. I mean, we've got the mobile service people, and I mean, every day it's not, are we going to get called out?
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah. Now
I knew duct tape could fix everything.
Yeah. Now that's industrial duct tape. That's not your homeowner duct tape. But we get it's not, are we going to get called out to change a flat tire? It's how many, and on average, we see 7 calls a day.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, 7 days a week.
I am amazed
to change flat tires.
Busy those guys are.
I'm amazed too, and I'm glad they're willing to work hard and get it done. But one thing that we see often is when we arrive, the spare tire's flat. I mean, when was the last time you checked the air in your spare tire? For us, it's not an issue because we carry compressors in the vans and the tow trucks and stuff, and we can inflate it. But if you were someplace where help wasn't readily available or going to change it yourself and your spare was flat, then you're no better off than the tire that went flat. So one thing I tell people to do is whenever you get your oil changed, ask them if they've checked the air in the spare tire. I mean, they should. But they might, mistakenly overlook it, or maybe they don't do that service. And if they say no, ask them to, because unless that spare is inflated, it's of no use to solve your problem. But the other thing that we see, and this is something you really can't do anything about, but people need to be aware of, because a lot of people aren't, is cars are coming without spare tires.
They are.
They are. And AAA, and this is what's in the back there. You can see
there's a spot for it, but there's nothing there.
There is. It's a foam piece, and that foam's there to hold over on the left-hand side. That's a little compressor that plugs into your cigarette lighter to inflate the tire.
Oh, because I saw some with canisters.
Yep, they do. Yeah, some have canisters of air, but as we know, that does no good if you picked up a bolt or have a large hole.
Rip a tire.
Yeah, or the tire blows out, which is what we often see. And in that case, you're going to get towed. I mean, there's no alternative to fix it. And AAA has done a study. And in 2014, 1 out of 7 cars on the road did not come with a spare tire.
Wow.
That many?
Yes, it's not that they're missing the spare, someone took it out and threw it away. It was just never offered with a spare.
And the reason for that?
Well, there's three reasons. One, cost. They can lower the cost of producing the car if they don't have to make a spare, a wheel, a jack, etc. The other thing is room. We're running out of room in the cars. But the biggest driving force is fuel mileage.
Less weight.
Exactly, less weight. You're talking 35 to 50 pounds for a spare tire and a jack. And the government has until 2025. There's a mandate where the average fuel economy has to be 54.5 miles to the gallon by 2025.
Wow.
And we're maybe halfway there, probably not even quite halfway there now. So anything we can do to put these cars on a diet, less weight will improve fuel economy. So that's part of the driving force too.
Are we talking just electric cars or all brands?
I've got a list here. I'm going to give a list of the manufacturers that make one or more model of car that doesn't have a spare tire. And I can't list all the models because this is only a 4-hour show.
That's all right. Remember, it's a 4-hour show. Okay.
That's worse than a 3-hour tour. But Acura, Audi, Buick, BMW, Cadillac, Chevrolet, Chrysler, Dodge, Fiat, Ford, GMC, Honda, Hyundai, Jaguar, Kia, Lexus, Lincoln, Mazda, Mercedes, Mini, Mitsubishi, Nissan, Pontiac, Porsche, Saturn, Scion, Smart, Tesla, Toyota, Volkswagen, and Volvo.
Tesla, with the price of their cars, they could afford to throw a spare tire on.
But electric, get rid of that weight.
It's electric, it's a little more weight.
Yeah.
Well, I had a Mini that had a run flat that didn't have a spare.
Correct, and that's the alternatives. If the car doesn't come with the spare tire, this started in 2012. There was already 54 models of cars that didn't have spare tires, and it's grown from there. But if they don't have a spare tire, they'll either be on a run flat tire, which means if the tire goes flat, you can drive it at a reduced speed for a limited amount of time on the flat tire. Or they'll have the canister of air that we talked about, or they'll come with a compressor. But again, if the tire blows out,
you're out of luck.
You're out of luck, or has a large hole in it, you're out of luck. The other thing that we see people do is they have vehicles with run flat tires, and when it comes time to replace the tires, they put a non-run flat on because the run flats are expensive. So, if pretty much if you drive a vehicle, about 2010 and newer, just be aware whether or not you have a spare.
Right.
And then if you don't, you had mentioned, you didn't know if tires were thinner in Missouri because there's so many.
There's so many on the side of the road.
It's amazing to me the condition of tires that we go out to change, that we see people driving on. I mean, they're bald, they're near bald, they have steel cords sticking out of them. And the people, and we show that to them, and they're oblivious that their tires are that bad a condition. I mean, they probably would have replaced them had they known. So, make sure somebody's looking at that on your vehicle as well, because it's an inconvenience. If you had a flat tire and had to have somebody come out to tow it or to change it, best case scenario is maybe a 30-minute wait.
Sure.
It might be an hour, hour and a half, depending on how backed up the roadside assistance people are, and then we're talking about it's 80-some degrees outside. And car, it's just a bad situation.
Well,
when
a lot
that
of people are getting ready to head out for the holiday weekend. Is there time to come in and get something like that checked out?
If you just want to look at the condition of your tires, just stop by Westside Auto Pros. We'll do that at no charge. You don't need an appointment, and
just make a pit stop.
Yeah, make a pit stop. I like that.
Okay.
Now, let's say you get caught up in a little bit of an emergency situation. How can we get in contact with someone that can help you out?
Yeah, well, you can either call us at Westside Auto Pros, or our 24-hour emergency number is 309-1911, and that's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Now, is that the same number in case your battery's dead? Because with the heat and everything, we talked about that.
Exactly.
So 309-1911.
Absolutely.
309-1911.
And that's available on holidays as well.
It never quits.
Okay.
Never quits.
Ron,
those guys are amazing.
Right here, okay?
Hey, it's Ron.
Ron, is that
tired,
you?
Ron.
You want to come help me out?
Yeah, let me turn off the grill. I don't need these bratwursts.
All right, great job as always.